Welcome to the Popish Plot. I'm Nate.
I'm Jessica.
And I'm Mike.
And today we are back with the third installment of our Final Four.
We've died. We've been judged.
And now, depending on that judgment, some of us are going to hell.
Yeah.
Now, as usual, traditionally, it's death, judgment, heaven and hell. But we like to end on the positive of heaven, or at the very least, the bonus of the slightly positive of purgatory.
We like the up note of going from death towards heaven, as opposed to the down note of going from death to hell.
So sue us.
Mm-hmm. So sue us. So, it's my turn to go first. Once again, I am picking movies that I feel embody the je ne sais quoi of the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I also don't know.
Yes, exactly. So, for hell, I picked, and judge me all you want now that we're past the judgment.
No, we can't anymore.
We've already passed that point.
We're already past the point, so you can't judge me. Ha-ha! The Godfather.
Oh, and I'm in hell.
The Godfather is hell.
Okay, how?
The whole series or just like one?
Nope, just the first one.
Because I would have said 3.
Yeah.
The third one could definitely be for some people hell, but
if there's a fourth that everyone just doesn't pretend exists.
But in my opinion,
they really went downhill.
the first one really does represent hell.
Okay.
If we view it through the lens of Michael's journey.
Sock it to us.
All right. Well, so Michael is the heir apparent to a crime family.
What? Sonny appears to be the heir.
Let's be honest.
But I know.
Michael's only doesn't appear to be the heir because he's trying to do everything he can to distance himself from the family.
I'm saying.
What is he gets out of high school? What does he do? He goes off into the army. Mm-hmm. He does his bit for king and country, if you will.
Mm-hmm. He marries Kate. He seems to be trying to go straight.
He seems to be trying to go straight.
I think her name was Kate.
But as everybody knows, every time I think I'm out, they pull me back in.
Wasn't that Carlito?
Maybe.
I don't know.
But it's all Al Pacino. It's fine.
Michael's case, they do.
Absolutely.
Because every time he thinks he's getting further from the family, something happens that draws him back in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
To the point that when he's at his son's baptism, and he's saying all the things that you're supposed to say, he knows for a fact that there are things going on outside of this church that he totally put into motion that are absolutely 100% contrary to the oaths that he's taking right now.
He has orchestrated the cold-blooded murder of several people, all happening while his son is being baptized.
The whole time that he's trying to get out, circumstances bring him back in, and that's really kind of, if you will, from a Grecian standpoint, it's kind of sort of a hell kind of a thing, in that all you really want is to not be here. But no matter how hard you try to get, it's the Sisyphus. No matter how hard you try to push that rock up the hill, it's gonna go back down to the bottom of the hill, and you're gonna have to start all over again. And that's kind of Michael's whole journey through Godfather. And then he moves away, gets brought back, moves away, gets brought back, to the point that he no longer actually sees the things that he's doing for the family as being at all in contradiction with the things that he wants to be doing. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It is Godfather is Michael's hell.
Yeah. Initially, he wants nothing to do with the family business. Mm-hmm. By the end, he's running the family.
He's running the family. He is the shot caller by the end. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And he's able to go and completely disconnect himself from the shots that he's calling, to the standpoint that he can go and do all these other things that would make it seem like as though he's not the guy who would do those things. Knowing full well he is absolutely the guy who did those things, and given the opportunity, he'd probably do them again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, as we see in Godfather Part 2.
He's become completely committed to it. In my particular vision of hell, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. It's the sins that brought you there, mm-hmm. becoming so much a part of you, mm-hmm. that they're even more of a part of you now than they were ever, or they ever could have been now. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, sobering.
Yeah. Hell.
All right.
Hell should be sobering.
Da, 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 da,
All right.
All right, music.
All right.
Here we go.
So, in heaven, I said, imagine that they were singing this more joyfully.
No.
No, sorry.
We haven't gotten to heaven yet.
Not heaven. In death.
Death.
I said, imagine that they were singing it more joyfully. In this one, imagine that it was done more punk, minor keys, an interlude in which they're playing like the music from The Devil Went Down to Georgia when it's the demons. Mm-hmm. Because my choice for hell is the song For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield, which is an actual, talking about, the various, movements of the 60s and people trying to go and make the world better. However, the actual words of it involve things about, things happening that were not clear, someone who's tell you to beware in a threatening manner. There's paranoia running deep when you don't know what's going on. Everyone's looking around to figure out what that sound is.
Everyone look. What's going down?
Nobody's right if everybody's wrong.
Mm-hmm. So for the lyrics, if it was done to mean a complete opposite thing that he meant, which still fits 99% of the lyrics, this would be hell. You don't know what's going on. No matter what, you can't win. You're not,
This is the line that I always found so interesting. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. Behind is the force that's pushing you. And what he's basically saying is that the force that should be pushing them is actually pulling them back.
I mean, or it's something that he did to rhyme, because the reason why the song is called For What It's Worth is he didn't even have this on the set list that he wanted to get put on the record. He was talking to the execs and they're like, do you got anything else, man? And he's like, I got one more song for what it's worth. And they assumed that was the title and not just him being like, well, you said everything else sucks.
That would make sense. That would make sense as to why. It would make sense as to why the title never occurs in the lyrics.
Based on the title, I had no idea what song she was talking about. I think it's time we stop, children. What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Like, I know this song in my bones. I've known it since I was a child, but For What It's Worth by Buffalo Springfield.
Yes, but imagine if this was done in a scary way. It would be very hellish because it's all about uncertainty, about, not being able to do stuff.
Alienation, disorientation.
This is another one. I want to have somebody go and do a new arrangement on for me, because I would totally,
do some minor keys,
we'll have
some scratchy fiddles.
We'll have Buffalo Springfield perform White Wedding, and we'll have Billy Idol perform For What It's Worth. It's going to be great.
Actually, I think that one might exist somewhere.
That'd be amazing.
All right, so
okay,
which Star Trek episode is hell? Is it the one where they were going to get rid of it until Lucille Ball had to go and put her savings into it? Or were they going to get rid of the most competent person on the bridge until Martin Luther King Jr. said, no, you're a black woman in space. You have to be here.
Well, that didn't happen in an episode, so. No, for Star Trek The Original Series, I have chosen I, Mud. This is the return of the comedically villainous Harcourt Fenton Harry Mudd.
Yes.
Fraudster extraordinaire. This is one reason why we know that Star Trek Discovery is not valid, because they've turned him into a violent psychopath, which is just not Harry Mudd.
No, that's so far.
No, he's the type of person that'd sell you a monorail.
Yes. He's like that. Put
Ogdenville on the map.
Ogdenville on the map, yes. Not to be confused with several nearby towns that have similar names. But in
I know
I,
it wasn't
Mud,
Shelbyville.
North Haverbrook. In I, Mud, Harry Mudd is on a planet of androids, and they won't let him leave. He's stuck there with them. So he sends an android out to go collect more humans, Captain Kirk and the Enterprise, and brings them to the planet, where they're also stuck and can't leave. Now, this being an episode of Star Trek, how does Captain Kirk defeat them? The way he always defeats supercomputers, by locking them into an illogic loop so that their brain simply melts down. This is at least the 5th episode in the series in which he defeats a supercomputer that way. But that's not what's hellish for our purposes. Harry Mudd has created from this planet of androids, an android in the mode and model of his wife, whom he has left behind and gone into the stars to get away from this woman.
He left his wife, and then had to go and make a robot to be just like her.
But he makes a robot that scolds him and excoriates him exactly the way she used to, until he yells at her to shut up, at which point she shuts down. But in the end, the Enterprise, the crew free themselves. They defeat the androids' plan to conquer the entire universe. Harry Mudd, who out of selfishness tried to consign the 430 crew members of the Enterprise to the fate that he himself wished to escape, is left behind on the planet of androids with 500 models of his wife. None of them responding to his commands to shut up. Because hell is always of our own making.
But not of our own control.
God doesn't send people to hell. People choose to go to hell by rejecting salvation, rejecting God's offer of friendship. Harry Mudd could have chosen the path of virtue, but at every turn, he chooses scheming, selfishness, and pettiness. Mm-hmm. And so he ends up in his own private hell with 500 Stellas telling him his deficiencies every single day.
You could really say his name was Mud.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
So, that is our take on the subject of hell through our three very particular lenses. If you feel that, if you liked our take, go down to the below into the comments and let us know.
Which spoke most directly to you.
If you feel that we missed the boat and there was definitely an option we could have chosen that would be better, feel free to also put that down in the comments. And if you have an idea for what we should do next, what we should have done in this one, or what we could have done with this one, or what we can do next year for our final four, also leave that down in the comments below. While you're going that way, make sure to hit the bell and the thumbs up and do all the things, and make sure that YouTube knows that you love us, because you do.
And don't forget, the Popish plot is known to be responsible, playing it on somebody else's computer is known to be responsible for at least one conversion.
At least one. Possibly more.
Verified.
And until next time,
remember to live your faith.
Love your faith.
Share that love.